let's also focus on speaking to the guests who have a very crucial role to perform here in this judgment. Jasmine Damkewala, who is attorney on record of the Supreme Court, is joining me live on the broadcast, along with People for Animal Officer Mr. Saurabh. All right. Whereas from there, in fact, let's quickly move on to have a conversation with our guest. Ms. Jasmine, as you know, I would like to begin it with you. This judgment has come and it has also divided the communities. One side, we see a large gathering of the protesters of consisting of the dog lovers and the dog feeders, and at the other side there are also communities which have been massively affected due to the personal cases of dog bites, increasing cases of dog attacks in the society. We see every day in Noida, Greater Noida, Gurugram residents, where a dog that has been walking and been taken on a walk attacks without any provocation to the other resident, and this is how it then increases onto many such cases, leading up to the anger. So how do we look at this judgment to understand that this also has some implementation on the ground with the view to decrease such cases, but at the same time to not hurt the sentiments of these dog lovers and feeders?
Okay. So to begin with, the question you asked has various sub-questions and various aspects to it. First and foremost, I will address the very issue, the last thing that you said, that a dog walking on a leash in Gurgaon jumped over somebody. I saw that video. Now, as far as that video is concerned, at the moment, I will not go into the forensics of whether that video is correct, wrong. We presume that it is correct. But if we notice it's a pet dog, pet dogs are wired very differently from streeties. Street dogs, community dogs, there's nothing like a stray dog, because when a dog is born in a particular place, he's a community dog. He has not strayed from anywhere. At best, we have strayed into his territory by new buildings and new homes. Anyway, so the community dog will look at the general population in a friendly manner, because he wants food from people. He wants shelter from people. He wants to be taken care of. A community dog is not going to randomly jump on somebody or attack that person. A pet dog would also not normally, but we don't know the history of that pet dog with that particular servant, because person. Sometimes what happens is dogs have memories, that they have associations that, okay, I had done this to me or to my brother-in-law, whatever. Sometimes it is just, there is no reason also. But as far as community dogs are concerned, community dogs generally do not attack without absolute extreme provocation. For the reason being, they're completely dependent on humans to get food. Pet dogs are different. That's one aspect. Second aspect I will point out, not all videos you see are correct. Not all are authentic. There is a lot of AI, artificial intelligence, which is being used to create certain videos. Also, the problem that has been told is not as rampant as we feel, because every bite, like if a person is bitten, you will take 5 injections, unless the dog is your pet dog. If your dog is your pet dog, you take 3 injections. If the dog is a street or community dog, you will have to take 5 injections. So that is reported 5 times as 5 bites. So everything is multiplied. Every bite is multiplied into 5 bites. Every incident is multiplied into 5 incidents. That is something that I want to point out, because very few people know it, and this is very authentic, because we have put RTIs and found it, and this is what we have got as official replies from state machinery. We have found that out. Still, notwithstanding that, we don't even want one bite incident. So we go back to, I will touch the legal aspect absolutely in there. Why does a particular dog bite even once? We're not talking about 5 bites. But dog will bite once because sometimes they like to chase cars and bikes. Why do they like to chase cars and bikes? Because 90% of their puppies have been squished under cars and bikes, or sometimes some kids, not all kids, for fun may throw stones at a dog or a stick at a dog. No? What has happened is we don't really take care of what our children do. We don't really regulate them. We are more concerned with, oh, don't go near the dog will bite you. But we have to sometimes also look at whether your child is being nice to the dog, or maybe your child is very nice to the dog. some other child has been bad to the dog, and dog has that memory. And so the minute he sees a child, see, a dog will have a flee or fight syndrome. So either he will flee, he'll run away, or he will turn around and snap even before you did anything. So sometimes those bites are completely unprovoked, but that happens because they have
You know,
some memory.
Miss Jasmine, as you are also, talking about with a lot of precision, but the point where a lot of contention is coming from is that are all of the cases and the current reality on the ground of the shelters has also been taken in consideration while passing such an order by the bench? One, and also at the same time, while at the one hand the RWAs hail this order, but at the same time the civic bodies actually in fact denied of having made these arrangements. So how do we pacify both the parties? Because at the same time, when you are looking at this issue with the lens of criticism that the dog bite cases increases, at the same time it is also in fact very disheartening to see the pleas of the dog feeders and lovers, because there is no designated feeding spot even in the RWAs for the people who want to take care of the strays as well.
So that is a mistake, right? So 2001 ABC rule did not contemplate most of these factors. They only talked about sterilization. There were certain loopholes and lapses, and the loopholes and lapses are that, okay, you're sterilizing, you have to feed because the dogs become easier to manage and handle, and aggression is lowered when you feed, but there was no mechanism. Now 2023 rules have laid down a complete mechanism, from the aspect of sterilization to the aspect of feeding spots designated, feeding timings, so that common man, see, not everybody is expected to like dogs. In a democracy, in a society, you will have some people who don't like dogs. They will have some people who like dogs, and some people who are neutral. Laws are made for the neutral. Laws are made in a manner which does not disturb anybody. So the ABC rules specifically state that you have to have feeding spots in every colony. And where are those feeding spots? By lanes, corners, places not frequented by people. And also at timings not frequented by people. Like you should not, and it is not recommended. And RWA should not and would not fix a feeding timing which is, coinciding with your school children going or school children coming. That is not under contemplation. What specifically is expected is that there are feeding spots in every colony. Feeding spots are in corners, remote areas, by lanes, between buildings, and multiple feeding spots, because you can't herd all dogs from various spots of the colony into one spot. Otherwise, there'll be fights, there'll be aggression. You don't want that. You want to go and quietly feed 2-3 dogs in a corner and another 2-3 in another corner, and you want to sterilize them so that they don't multiply.
All right, Ms. Jasmine, in fact, a very rightly made argument, and I'll request you to kindly stay on with us. We also have another person